Hello everyone. In this video we want to talk about the values that the Sales Excel can take. Actually Sales Excel can take any value from your computer, but there are different types that Excel understand the values. So if you remember, in the previous videos we talked about the value and we said that the value is not just numbers. Is the whole bunch of things that we are putting in our Excel. So for example, the value I type it here is a text, and we can have a different types of values. The first thing that all we know is the numbers. So one of the values that the Excel cell can take is number. Another thing that you actually see right now is the text values. However, text values are called a string as well. So I write the string in the parentheses, and the string is the why we call the text value as a string as well, because it's a string of the characters that present a text. So because that characters are written as a string, we call that the string text. So this is another value that we can have in the Excel cells. Another thing that we can have is the logical values. The logical values in the Excel, we call them logical, but actually in the math world or in the programming world, it's called the Boolean. So the logical or the Boolean are the same. Another thing that Excel can understand is the errors. These are the errors that we will have from the function. For example, when we write a function or formulas in the Excel, if the function or formula resulted into the errors, that Excel cell can understand and give us the output of the error. And there is one thing that left is the arrays that cells can understand. We will talk about the arrays in more detail in the future videos. However, if you want to know in this video, I can tell you the array is the range of the cells actually in the Excel. If the function or the formula written in the Excel resulted into the multiple cells, and the range, actually Excel will really understand that as the array, and that's the area of the cells that represented, and there is some limitation in the manipulating those cells. So these are the type of the values that Excel can understand. I make this one as a header. So let's have some example of the numbers. For example, 1 is the integer number that we all know, 1, 2, 3, 4, or we can have the decimal number, for example 1.5, or we can have the fraction of the number, for example 1 divided by 5. This is another type of the numbers. This is the fraction that actually we can see in the formula bar. It's assumed that the decimal value of this one is 2.2. It's not 2.5. So this is another difference. Another value that is assumed by Excel as a number is the date and time values. For example, today is 2019, month 2, day 26, and if I press the enter, the Excel will understand that this is the date value and it's a number actually. If I come here, this is the place that I can change the presentation of the cells, and this is a difference between the values that Excel understand, and now we can present them in the different ways. For example, this is the value, this is a number value that presented as a date right now. So in the home tab, in the number section, we can have different presentation of the values. And let me write that for you. As we talked in the previous video, a cell Excel is the place in our computer. So this place we are able to save values in this place, and these values can have different types, and these types can be a number, can be a text, can be logical, can be an error, or can be an array. So these are the types that can be saved in the Excel cell. However, when a user using the Excel can view these types of the values in different presentation. So different presentation means that if I have the number value, then I can show it as a time, or I can show that as a date, or as a currency, and so on. So this is a difference between the saving the value and showing the value, presenting the value. So these are the values actually saved in the Excel. All of them are the number. If I come here and choose the number, these are the same. These are all number as a decimals. Even the data I enter it into the Excel cell. So these are the numbers, and I can present them as a different. I can present them in the different formats. So I can present them in the format of the currency, in the format of the percent. I can present them as a format of the time and date, and so on. So these presentation formats are, as you see in this presentation of the format, can be handled or can be changed by using this box in the home tab in the numbers section. If I press this little box here, or I can use them as a shortcut by choosing, these are the most common values that are used in the Excel. So Excel show us a shortcut for choosing them, but we can choose this one to access the whole bunch of things for presentation. As a default, I'm in the general. In the general, Excel will choose how he presented to us the values. For example, if I press the date value into the Excel cell as a date, Excel will understand that it's not a string or it's not a number that we want to see. It's just the date value that I wanted to see. So it understand and show us it's as a date. So it's why it's on the default in the general. However, before we go to see other presentation, let's talk about a little bit about the text string. Text string is the thing that we can write in the keyboard by characters. It's not should be the alphabetic. I can present different characters in the English character, for example, or actually by another language as well. So this is how we can say that this is a text string, and this is why we say that it's a string, because it's a different characters are placed in the cell as a string. Okay, so this is how we can present them. Even the numbers, for example, here I enter the 1 value. This is the number. Actually, Excel understand that this is number, but if I want to save that as a text string, I can use a function, or even in the presentation I have to say to the Excel, this is not the general, it is you understand as a number, it's just a text. So I have to choose the text. If I choose the text, it's go under the left side of the cell, and now it's the text. For example, in the text I can have 0 at the first of my writing. For example, the code of the USA is 001. So it's assumed that right now it's a text string, and I say that to the Excel, this is a text string. If I do not specify that and write the 001 here, it changes to the 1, because there is no number has a 0 at the left side. So this is the 001, and if you notice there is a green notation here. If I go to this cell, it says that the number in this cell is formatted as a text, and it says that the number sorted as a text. Are you sure about that? I think Excel say that. I think this is a number, you have to change that. But I said no, this is a zip code and I want it to be as a text, for example. So this is another text presentation. This is the actual numbers saved as a text, and there is a bunch of things as a text I can have. And also for example, the text in the Excel, when I have the formula or I set the equation, the cell value is equal to something. If I want to have the formula on it, I have to write the text value in the double quotations. For example, I have to say it's equal to double quotation Armin کشاورزی, and I have to close the double quotation as well, and then enter the text. As you can see, we will not see the equation and double quotation. We just see that in the formula bar, and it shows that this is Armin کشاورزی. And actually we can combine the text values in the Excel as well. I can use the equation. I have to say that these cells equals to a combination of the, by using AND character in the formula bar, and the cells B3. So if I say that, it combines the values, text values of the Armin کشاورزی between this string text, but we cannot sum them up. For example, if I say that this cell is equal by the D3 plus B3 and then press enter, it say that it's a value error. So it's the error type. I can place that here, and it said that it's a value error because I cannot sum up the text string together. I just can sum up the numbers together. And this is another thing you have to notice about the text string and about the logical values. Logical values or Boolean values in the math and programming are 0 or 1. Okay, the 0 and 1 is a number, or we can say that this is a logical value as a true and false. True or false. If you notice, I write the false value as a text string into the cell. If I press the enter, it changed the false to the capital characters, and to showing us I understand what are you meaning. Excel say that I understand that you mean the false value of the logical type of value, or the true value of the logical value. For example, if I want to use the if statement, I have to say if it's a true statement or false statement, and then do something else based on the decision that I had. So true and false value can be saved as seen as a logical value. The true value is actually the one, so that we can have that. Let me place another here. I have to remove that, change them to this. So the value true is equal to the one in the programming or in the Excel. So the one value, the number of 1 is equal to true, and the 0 value is equal to the false. So these are the same actually. This is no difference, but in the situation that I want to be sure that the Excel understand that I wanted to use the logical value, I have to write the true and false statement. So this is not the text right now. It is different between writing the true in the double quotation. If I write the true in the double quotation in the Excel, it thinks that it's a string, it's a text, it's not logical anymore. It's not logical value anymore. So this value is different from this value. If I come here and say that if it's this one is equal to this one, it will say me it's false. These are not same. This is a text string and this is a true and false value. So you have to notice that these two are different. And the error type, you actually see that if I write the formula that has not a logical value, or has not the correct value, it's do not give me the correct output, it shows me the error. For example, in this error, it said that these are the value errors, that I cannot sum up the text string together. I can combine them, but I cannot make them sum. There is a bunch of different error types. For example, the value error is one of them. We have the NA value error, and we can say it will be shown as a NA. You have to notice that if I write for example, a text value as a value, for example, here I write the value as a text error value. Are these two are same? You have to test that. Right now, this is the text. This is a presentation of the Excel that shows us that this formula has the value error, and this is I write it by myself as a string. So I have to test that if these two are the same or not. For example, I can test that by using this. I said it's a value error as well. So when you're writing a formula, and you have to notice that if you get the value error or some error as well, other formulas, for example, if you choose another formulas, then other formulas will show you the error as well, even if they are correct one. But because right now D6 has a value error, I will see the error in my formula. However, my formula is correct, but D6 is a value error, so it shows me error. There is another formula in the Excel that I can use in the time of the error, is the if error. If I use this formula and say that if this value is error, then show me something else. For example, show me true in the text format, and it shows me the true. This is the value error. However, I wanted to check that if this one is error as well or not, so I wanted to use this function and select this one, which is written by myself, and say that if this one is error, show me the true. This true is a text. If I wanted to have the boolean or logical value, I do not need to write that in the double quotation. I just needed to write it by true. So if I did not write it in the double quotation, Excel will understand. But in the other cases, if you write the string value, it's not understand and show me error. If you see that right now, if error, I told the Excel if this value is error or not. If it is, it shows me the true. But if it's not, it will show me the actual value of this cell. So right now Excel says that it's not an error, it's just a text string. So this is a difference between the value error and the text I write it by myself. You have to notice that. About the array, I talk a little bit in the first of this video. I will talk about the arrays in the future videos. So right now you do not I do not want to show you an example for arrays. Just know that if I have the range of the cells, and this range of the cells are the output from the function that's a user for array, this bunch of the cells will be assumed by Excel as an array type. So this is all thing you need to know about the values that we can put into the Souls Excels, and by doing so, Souls Excel understand what we mean. I mean that if we put the values into the Excel cells, Excel automatically understand the numbers, text string, logical errors, and arrays. However, for example, we see that if in the times that Excel did not understand, I mean to text as a text and write a number as a text, I have to tell to Excel by going here and choose the text for that cell. So by this way, I told Excel I do not mean to write a number, I mean to write a text value. So in the next video, we will talk about how we can present values in the Excel in the different presentations by using these options in the Excel, and for example, showing a number value as a date or time. So until next video, goodbye. If you find out that this video is useful for you, please subscribe into our YouTube channel and like our videos, and see our website yahoo.co.uk and see our products as well. Thanks a lot and goodbye.